Let's talk about the Bucks. They fired their head coach, Adrian Griffin, on Tuesday. The Bucks are currently the second seed in the East with a 30-13 record, which 30 wins is number 2 in the NBA overall. So I don't understand this, so we'll talk about it. Was it the right move by the Bucks letting Griffin go despite the team's success in the record column?
Hey, if Giannis said enough is enough with Adrian Griffin, then it was the right move. Listen, superstar players always win the power struggle. And I agree with the players. Like, it's the NBA, man. Like, if you've got a superstar player like Giannis, you got to keep that guy happy. And you can't have Giannis and Dame questioning their coach. And I think the real kicker was defensively, JT. He did not have them playing at a level where they could win a title. And we said it when they got rid of Budenholzer, like, that's a bad move. He switched, meaning Adrian Griffin, switched the Budenholzer system to the one that he had in Toronto when I think he was an assistant there to try to generate more turnovers. But the Bucks, but Toronto was young and lengthy at the time, and they could play in that defense. The Bucks are not.
You got Damian Lillard, who's never really been a defensive player out there.
Right.
Like, let's be real.
Yeah, you can't play that way or force them to play that way. And what that did was, and instead, it pulled the guys like a Brook Lopez away from the rim. So instead of having rim protection, they're now allowing more points and offensive rebounds because the big is pulled away from the rim. And he tried to change that at the end. He was open to listening to Giannis, but I think it was too little too late. And I think really the writing should have been on the wall for everyone when Terry Stotts, who's known as that defensive assistant coach, that he left prior to the season, a little bit after Adrian Griffin was named head coach. So maybe it was Griffin even at the time. So I think with Giannis wanting him gone and the defense not playing to the level that they need to win a title, regardless of whether they're 30-13 or whatever, that you had to make the move now if you're going to do it. They bring in Doc. We'll see if that's the right move, but I think it is the right move in letting him go.
Yeah, I think the Terry Stotts thing, we should have read more into that when it happened.
Yeah.
Because I think
I'm surprised you didn't. You usually have some conspiracy theory off the wall when things like that happen.
I assumed he stepped away because there was something behind the scenes that he did wrong that we didn't know about. But it sounds like he just didn't want to work with this Adrian Griffin dude. And the players were like, damn, you should have taken us with you. I agree. I don't, because the NBA, the regular season, I guess, is misleading. 30-13 is a great record. But I mean, if the players aren't playing playoff basketball, like if you're showing errors in your game that's going to cost you a playoff series, then you got to get rid of that coach because Giannis ain't going nowhere and Dame ain't going nowhere. So if they're not playing basketball at a level that you feel can get you an NBA championship, I don't care what the regular season record is. I got to get a coach in there that can get those guys on the same page and get them playing playoff basketball. Because we know in the NBA, the regular season doesn't matter. So I do think it was the right move. Now, you were saying replacing them with Doc. I don't know because I've seen.
Well, they did already, supposedly. Yeah,
they did. Yeah, I seen Doc Rivers' track record in the playoffs. So I mean, be careful what you wish for. But I want to know more about this because, yes, I do understand maybe their defense suffered and maybe he wasn't the easiest to work with. But I got a real issue with guys in the league picking and choosing who they let be tough on them with coaching, regardless of what the record is. Because I'm sorry, like Tom Thibodeau is one of those guys. I'm like, he seems like a very tough coach to play for. But what does he want for players to be like? All right, we're going to buy into this at all costs. Like, I want to hear more about Adrian Griffin and how he interacted with those players because would Giannis have done this with Mike Budenholzer, if it was the same exact situation, I'm not so sure. Would he have done it with a Quinn Snyder? I'm not so sure. So guys like Adrian Griffin always get ran out of town because the players don't get along. But it's like, do you have that same mentality with every type of coach that comes in there? Because you guys got 30 wins. Could this have been something that they fixed as the season progressed? Maybe, but it doesn't seem like they wanted to do it. But My only guess is he probably said something bad about the Nats should not being on the team, and he was like, "All right, you got to get out of here." So that would be my only guess. But I do think if, like you said, Giannis and Dame aren't feeling it, you got to get them out of there because it's a players' league.
So you mentioned Doc Rivers, and I only bring this question up because I thought Chris Canty on ESPN's
Yeah.
morning show, radio morning show, brought up a really good point, and I want to see if you agree with it or not. That Doc Rivers is like the Mike McCarthy of the NBA.
No, I don't. And I know that's the question you're going to
Really?
have. Yes,
No, no,
because
no. I'm asking. I'm asking you now. I'm
no,
asking you now.
I don't, because Doc Rivers is more of, he'll jump to the easy situation that seems like it's ready to win. Like he did it all the time. Like went to Boston, stuff got tough. Went to LA, stuff got tough. Went to Philly, stuff got tough. He left. Whereas like Mike McCarthy, I think he likes to go place, try to set his roots down and try to build it on his own. Are they both unsuccessful usually? Yes. Mike McCarthy
Damn.
has won, but no,
Damn.
I don't think he's McCarthy. I think I don't want to call him like a jersey hopper, but I think Doc Rivers just goes to the most beneficial situation. He's not trying to build anything.
Well, remember he did start in Orlando to try to build it, but I actually think that's a good comparison. Like I think Chris Canty is right, because when you look at it, they each have a ring, and they won it early on, and then had very much sustained regular season success, but then blew it in the playoffs.
Lost their
And
fastball in the playoffs, so to speak.
and not only that, when they won the title, Aaron Rodgers was with Green Bay, and Doc Rivers had the big three kind of still in their prime. And that was a big reason why they won it with the Celtics, was because of Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. And they haven't won one since. And they're the type of coaches that will be retreads because of so much success, and they're highly respected. So I think that's kind of spot on.